Hello to all the adults out there who are helping your kindergarten children through this new and interesting year. Our team has decided to create some videos using the Orton-Gillingham Phonics program. So for this video, I'd kind of like to give you a background on what we'll be doing for the next few weeks and throughout the year, and talk to you about some of the materials that you'll be receiving throughout this the course of our distance learning and online learning process in the packages that you'll get home in distribution. So Orton-Gillingham is a multisensory approach to learning phonics. And you have to think about the complexity of what reading is. When children are brought into this world, we tell them to explore it 360 degrees. And then we give them this printed material and tell them that they have to move from left to right. And they have to look at certain letters that look the same. For example, like B's and D's and P's and Q's. And those seem to be the same letter, but the orientation makes a difference. So it's a very complex process to learn how to read. So the approach that we're taking is to integrate as much as we can using the senses. We have 4 domains of language. We have speaking and listening, reading and writing for the 4 domains of language. And then you add on to that the cognitive domain of thinking. And that's an important and critical step that sometimes doesn't get brought into this, but it's really important, especially when you're helping your child. You have to allow them to have some think time. And before you give them the answer, maybe to the sound of a letter, it's best to try to see if you can elicit an understanding through questioning. If that doesn't work, then please prompt them and give them the right information. But we do want to encourage them that time to process and think, because we all process in different ways and at different times. When we're doing this this learning, we want to talk about a couple of things related to phonics: phonological awareness, phonemic awareness, and then phonics itself. So phonological awareness is the understanding that our spoken language is made up of individual words, and within those words are individual sounds, and those are the letters that make up the sounds. Phonemic awareness is a subcategory of phonological awareness, where it's composed of those distinct letters having those sounds. Phonics is the visual part, the ability to recognize letter sounds and correspondence of those letter sounds and applying them to that visual, kind of abstract written letter. So as we go through this, we're going to be emphasizing the listening as well as the seeing, because reading is very much a hearing process. It's an auditory process. So I really encourage you, as those adults at home, to please read to your children. Discuss rhymes, discuss letters that you hear, the sounds that they make, point out what a word is, and as you're reading, track those words. And there you will be encouraging their reading development through these very small acts. And you don't have to take a lot of time, between 10 and 20 minutes in the evening, just to provide them with that opportunity to hear you reading, what good reading sounds like. So for the materials that you'll be receiving, you will find in our next packets this packet, there we go, and it has directions for how to do these, and we've already completed the first step for you. So the next step is to cut out the cards, but this next step is really critical. Write the information below onto each card on the back. So as you take a look here, these yellow cards represent the vowels. They're out of order here, but we've got A, E, I, O, U. And these are copied already on cardstock, and if you would, please write the number 2 on the back. So when you cut out each of these and take a look at the number that's on the front on the directions and then write that number on the back. And I'll show you what I'm talking about here. I have examples of those cards. Here's our first letter that we're going to be learning, C. And if you take a look here, I've just written the number 1 on the back. The reason for that is usually this is something that the teachers would be doing at school. But since we're not there to be doing this and our time is very limited for the things that we are doing, my hope is that the videos that I'm giving you, and I will be doing these with the children, but you can have the opportunity to also apply these skills. So you'll have these cards that you can practice at home and begin practicing those letter sounds with them. So as we begin doing this, this would be number 1 on the list. I would place that down. Vowels are the number 2 in the placement, and then we have number 3. Okay, so for example, in this, we have C, A, T. So, oops, except I had that backwards for you. There we go. C, K, A, T. So we have a 1-syllable word. Okay, so it makes one sound when we say it. K, A, T, cat. When we blend that together. This will be part of our blending process. And you'll see when I do the videos, you'll see the process that I do it, and I'll make mistakes just like that. So just expect that. Another thing that you'll receive is paper in a sleeve like this. We will be focusing our beginning up here. And this is, we call this the red house paper. And the number or the line that's up here is for the number that we use for practice when we're doing our red words, which I will explain at another time. But we will be using this for practicing writing our letters. The first 4 letters that we're going to be learning, C, O, A, and D, are magic letters. Because if you can create those first 4 letters, C, then you can write the O. The A is an extension of that O with a line down from the middle. And then the D is an extension of that A with a line down from the top. So it allows the children to begin some writing fluency with some very familiar letters. In our other reading program, you may see that they're introduced as M-A-T. There's nothing wrong with that. This is just to develop writing fluency. So that's the reason that we're doing it in this particular way, is increase writing fluency. And by the time we get to introducing those 4 letters, I will be able to put those blending boards up. And just how I showed you with the 1, 2, 3, put those up, and the children will begin the process of blending those letter sounds to read the words. So far I've talked about this packet that you will cut out, and I suggest this is not something for the children to cut out. We'd like these, you would probably want them to stay a little nicer. We have some fine motor skill cutting activities that you'll see at home. This would be one for you to do, make it a little bit nicer, and they'll end up looking like this paper. And then you'll also see these vowel tents. And since our first vowel is O, you will see that here. Now, you could put a picture, for example, if you had a sticker of an octopus. I did not have the stickers to be able to do this, but that might be a good way to help the children. That O is the word that that octopus begins with, and it makes the ah sound. All right. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, well, my student is a reader already, and that's awesome. And I'm very happy to hear that, and that's a great thing, but you have to remember that these skills that we're giving here are very critical skills for students to learn sounds. So if your student is reading right now, then I want you to think about how do these lessons apply to my child writing? Because we want to extend it to the writing as well. So it's really important that the students are very comfortable with hearing those sounds. When they're able to read and write those one-syllable words, then they can start moving into decoding and writing multisyllabic words. So, for example, we might start doing like football. Okay, so we take a compound word and begin writing a word like that, a two-syllable word. So when I say multisyllabic, meaning more than one syllable. We want the students to be fluent readers and writers. So they may be very proficient readers, but we need to practice the writing skills. And this is a really great program to support that. One of the next things I'll be sending out this way to parents will be finger tapping charts for them. And so the children will be able to start sounding out, hearing those sounds and tapping them out and writing those one-syllable words. So thank you for your time, and please take a look at all of the videos that I send out and practice those sounds on a daily basis with your children. When I do send out these videos, they may be a bit lengthy, so you can pause at any time to come back to these videos and practice. You could watch them multiple times for practice as well. So please use them as a resource to support your child's phonological, phonemic, and phonics awareness. Thank you.